name is Jamie Pepp. I am presenting my research project today titled The 7 Steps Dealing with Difficult Customers. Most of us have customers of some sort, regardless of profession, and sometimes they can be tough to handle. Today we will discuss the strategy to handling these customers in a more efficient and professional manner. I chose this topic because I have worked in the customer service industry for 12 years now. I also picked this topic because dealing with difficult customers has been one of the toughest parts of my career thus far. I had a habit of taking things personally, but through experience and training, I am now able to handle these situations more gracefully. To begin, I will give a little more background information on myself. I started working at 16 years old as a tennis pro shop attendant at a country club. I was responsible for ensuring the members had exceptional service, but I had minimal training at this point. I was then in college at UCF a few years later, and a dad that I nannied for offered me a job at the insurance agency that he owned. That is when I became licensed with the state of Florida as a customer service representative. I moved to Jacksonville about 6 years ago and was hired at a much larger agency where I have worked my way up and exemplified good customer service skills that I plan to teach others one day. I found several articles that outlined recommendations for dealing with difficult customers and providing good customer service, but the article that I read on Mind Tools stuck out the most. The 7 steps we will discuss are as follows. The first step is to adjust your mindset, listen actively, repeat the concerns, be empathetic and apologize, present a solution, take action and follow up, and use the feedback. The first step that we are reviewing is adjusting your mindset. When you receive a phone call or have a customer that is face-to-face and you realize that they are upset, the first thing to do is to understand that you will have to calm them down. An extremely common mistake that is made upon this initial step is that the employee gets defensive, rather than understanding that the client may have a justifiable reason for being frustrated. A good customer service representative is able to emotionally disconnect during these situations and understand that there is a problem to be heard and hopefully solved. The next step is to actively listen to the customer. An article on Forbes mentioned that distraction is one of the major barriers to active listening. We have so many devices that are pinging, ringing, and dinging that our attention can easily be pulled in a dozen directions at once. It is best to avoid distractions, not interrupt the customer, and remember that this is not the time to try and provide a solution. Once you have listened to all of the details regarding the issue, it is time to make sure that you understand what the real problem is. Sometimes when dealing with someone who is upset, they speak too quickly or might not make sense, and we don't even end up realizing what the situation truly is. By repeating back what you have heard, you can make sure that everyone is on the same page. Once they have confirmed that what you heard is correct, then it is easier to move on to the next step. Now that you have listened to the customer's complaint and verbalized it back to them, it is time to apologize. Similar to disengaging yourself emotionally on step 1, this can also be a tough pill to swallow depending on the situation. Working in the customer service industry means that you sometimes end up apologizing for things that were out of your control or may not have been caused by you, but an apology often makes the customer feel better. It also shows the customer that you empathize with them and that you are sorry for their trouble or inconvenience. Once you have had a chance to apologize, you should tell the customer how you plan on resolving their issue. This will go one of 2 ways. You will either be able to come up with a solution that could make the customer happy, or you'll have to put them in contact with the person that has the ability to resolve the problem, such as a manager or an owner. Either of these options will work, but the second option presents some potential red flags. If another person has to get involved in order to give the customer a solution, then you will have to make sure to relay the problem precisely and outline each detail. The customer service rep may try to tell the issue more quickly than necessary and miss important details, which can ultimately upset the customer more. A second potential issue is that the manager makes the customer tell their problem all over again, which can be aggravating because they have already told the story once. Hopefully you are either able to provide a solution or a third party can assist and make the upset customer satisfied again. After a solution is provided and the customer agrees, it is best to restate how you are solving their problem and make sure that you have all of the information that is needed. If they are requesting a refund, for example, this is the time to make sure that you have the correct credit card on file or the right contact information in the event that the refund does not go through. This is also an opportunity to follow up with the client to make sure that they are happy with the service that they received. This is what separates good companies from mediocre companies. A company that can show the customers that they truly care and that they want to provide outstanding service will be much more appealing than going to a store where employees don't appear to care. Now that you have listened to the difficult, upset, or angry customer, provided a solution, and followed up with them, you can learn from the situation and reflect on how you handled everything. Mind Tools asks questions such as, why did this problem happen, or can it be prevented in the future? Learning from mistakes, whether it was you who made the mistake or whether you're just the person handling the mistake, is very important in developmental growth. Being able to address the issue and prevent it in the future will result in less negative customer interactions. As I mentioned previously, in the future I would like to become a team lead for a team of commercial account managers and assistants and teach them the importance of customer relationships, how to provide good service, and how to ensure that their teammates are providing great service as well. I am lucky enough to work for a company who values education and has formed workshops and classes to help us improve in this area. To wrap up this presentation, the research assignment could not have come at a better time because of the current catastrophe that our world is dealing with. With the economic downfall due to the virus, I have a feeling that we will be working with customers that have lost their business, their livelihood, any income that they have had, and so much more. During this time as a customer service representative, it will be my job to use the steps discussed above to empathize with my clients and to come up with potential solutions that could ultimately help them restore their business. This will be a tough time for myself and others in my position because many people will be frustrated and their emotions may not be what we're normally used to. However, many of us are so fortunate that we are still able to work and assist others in times of need. I look forward to finishing up the rest of the semester with this class and I'm looking forward to our graduation. Thanks so much for listening.